Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Imagine finding yourself in one of those really pivotal conversations, you know?
Mm-hmm. The high stakes ones.
Exactly. The ones where, like, every single word matters, and even simple phrases can carry, well, profound weight.
Definitely.
That's exactly where we're diving today. Our sources for this deep dive, they come from a fascinating English learning podcast.
Right. And specifically, a segment analyzing a dialogue, a pretty dramatic one between a boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, so our mission today is to kind of cut through the noise, find the really important nuggets of knowledge in there.
And there are quite a few.
We're going to uncover how subtle linguistic choices, how they can completely change the meaning of a conversation.
And explore those sort of unspoken rules of serious communication.
Yeah, and even unwrap the, well, the charming and sometimes quirky world of romantic language.
And that's precisely it, isn't it? When emotions are high, even the smallest, tiniest linguistic choices can carry disproportionate weight. What's really fascinating here, I think, is how much meaning can be packed into just a few words.
So true.
So we're going to explore those specific phrases and see why they carry so much weight, especially for you, as someone looking to master these nuances.
Indeed. And the first one we picked out is absolutely foundational, certainly in a romantic context.
Mm-hmm.
Our source material really emphasizes this critical distinction between to love someone and to be in love with someone.
Ah, yes, the big one.
Right. The dialogue shows a boyfriend using both. He says, I love you, and then also, I'm in love with you. So what's the crucial difference? Why does it carry such weight?
Well, this is more than just, a linguistic distinction. It's a social and emotional minefield in English-speaking cultures, really.
A minefield.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be in love with someone signifies exclusive, strong romantic feelings.
Mm.
It's specific.
Yeah.
You can generally only be in love with a romantic partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife.
Mm.
You wouldn't say you're in love with your parents or your family, even though obviously you certainly love them.
Makes sense.
To love someone is the broader term. It's affection. So you love your parents, you love your family, you love your friends, but you are in love with your partner.
So that one little preposition in changes everything.
Completely. Misinterpreting this or misusing it can lead to profound heartbreak or misunderstanding. It shows how that single word dictates relational intent and, well, future expectations.
Wow. That truly clarifies the core difference there. It's such a tiny shift linguistically, but the implications are just massive.
Absolutely.
And speaking of massive implications,
Huh?
the very first line of the dialogue we looked at sets the tone for a serious conversation. Can we talk?
Ah, yes, the classic.
It seems like such a simple question, but if you hear that from a partner, it can send shivers down your spine.
It really can. It's almost universally used to initiate a serious conversation.
So it's usually bad news then? Or can it sometimes be good?
Well, it often is about something difficult or potentially negative, yeah.
Right.
Think about it. If I just wanted to casually compliment your shirt, I wouldn't say, hey, can we talk? I really like your shirt.
No, that would be really weird and alarming.
Exactly. It would immediately trigger alarm bells.
Okay.
So while technically it could precede good news,
Mm-hmm.
its primary function, its usual function, is to signal that bad news, or at least a very important, often challenging topic, is coming.
Okay. So it's like a powerful verbal red flag,
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
It sets an immediate somber tone.
a definite signal of seriousness. Okay, so once that serious conversation is initiated, the words themselves become absolutely crucial.
Mm.
And that's where we run into phrases like, you know what I mean, which, as our source points out, holds a kind of hidden trap based on how you say it.
Oh, this is a great example of how delivery changes everything. Intonation is key here.
How so? How does it flip the meaning?
Well, if you say, you know what I mean, with a rising tone at the end, like a question, you're genuinely asking for confirmation. You're seeking understanding. You're sort of saying, do you follow my idea? Am I making sense?
Okay, like maybe clarifying something.
Exactly. Like maybe a professor's instructions were a bit vague. You might ask a classmate, so how was I supposed to do the homework? You know what I mean? They're checking if they got it too.
Right. Makes sense.
But if you say, you know what I mean, with a falling declarative tone at the end, more like a statement,
Okay.
then it's completely different. You're implying that the other person already knows and understands perfectly without you needing to spell it out.
So it's not really a question anymore.
Not at all. For instance, if you said, ugh, I don't like going to your mom's house. You know what I mean? You're not really asking if I understand your dislike.
No, you're stating it as an obvious fact you expect me to agree with.
Precisely. So basically, with that falling tone, you're subtly implying the other person would be a bit slow if they didn't already get it.
Wow, that's a really powerful observation about intonation and how easily you could send the wrong signal without even realizing it.
It happens all the time.
Okay, moving beyond these sort of initial setup phrases, our source reveals how some expressions adapt far beyond romance. It shows how versatile English can be.
Yeah, definitely.
The girlfriend in the dialogue asks, "Where is this relationship going?" Which sounds super specific to relationships, right?
It does, yeah. It's very common in romantic contexts.
But the source showed how adaptable it is.
You're spot on. While it's common there, where is this noun going? Is incredibly versatile. It's really about asking for the future, the direction, or the outcome of anything.
Anything, like what?
Well, you could say, I don't know where my career is going in this company if you feel stuck, or you don't see potential for growth.
Okay, yeah.
Or watching a confusing movie. This movie is so confusing, I have no idea where the plot is going.
Huh, I've definitely said that.
Right. Or even, we've been in this meeting for over 2 hours and I still don't know where it's going.
Okay, so it's fundamentally about trajectory, the future path.
Exactly. Not just romance. It's a powerful way to express uncertainty or demand clarity about the future, whether that's personal or professional or, narrative.
Got it. Another really flexible one the source highlighted was, maybe it's just time we verb.
Ah, yes, that one.
This one is kind of left hanging in the dialogue, but it opens up so many possibilities, doesn't it? From the mundane to the monumental.
It really does. Maybe it's just time we verb it's often a polite but firm way to suggest that a certain action should happen now.
Because it's overdue or necessary.
Exactly that. The source gives a whole spectrum of examples.
Yeah.
From the very serious, like maybe it's just time we break up, unfortunately,
Heavy.
to major life changes, like maybe it's time we have a baby.
Wow, okay, big range.
But it's equally applicable to simpler things. Maybe it's time we go home if it's getting really late at a party.
Sure.
Or even something totally mundane, like maybe it's about time you clean your room.
Huh. Okay, so it's all about proposing a course of action that feels, appropriate for the moment.
But that's a good way to put it. It signals a proposed course of action that feels right or necessary right now.
Makes sense. And the last phrase from the sort of core dialogue analysis was, "We've had our laughs." It sounds like it just means we've had our good times, but the source showed how easily this can be adapted to reflect different shared experiences.
Yeah, this is a great example of how one phrase can act like a template for many feelings or situations.
A template? How so?
Well, we've had our laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Does specifically mean you've shared good, happy times together, fun moments.
Okay.
But if you want to convey more of a mix of experiences, acknowledging both the positive and the negative, you might say we've had our ups and downs.
Right, I've heard that a lot.
Or maybe we've had our moments. That can cover both good and bad too, often implying significant events. And if the shared history has been primarily tough, maybe implying difficulties or problems you've overcome or are still dealing with, you could say, we've had our issues.
Ah, okay. So it's about acknowledging a shared past.
Exactly. But the specific noun you choose, laughs, ups and downs, moments, issues, frames the nature of that history.
That's such a nuanced way to talk about shared experiences. It gives you so many options for precisely conveying a relationship's history, doesn't it?
It really does. It's quite subtle.
And finally, no deep dive into a romantic dialogue would be complete without talking about pet names.
Oh, absolutely. Terms of endearment.
These are those sweet, sometimes cheesy names we call our significant others. The dialogue itself uses baby and honey.
Yeah, the classics. And what's truly fascinating here isn't just how universal these things are, but how utterly nonsensical they can become when you try to directly translate them. Yet they still carry profound emotional weight.
Right. So in English, we have the obvious ones. Baby, honey, sweetheart, darling. Sweetie, cutie. And then you get the delightfully cheesy ones like Snook or Honey Bunny.
Huh. Or Sweetie Pie or Pooh Bear.
Exactly. You can even make up your own completely unique ones. But the real insight isn't just their literal meaning or lack thereof.
What is it then?
It's how these seemingly silly words are actually powerful tools. They establish intimacy, they define relationship boundaries.
Like a private language?
Precisely. A signal of shared history. And often, they're kind of a litmus test for comfort and closeness.
And how you use them in public can say a lot, too.
Definitely. Their public use can even signal the seriousness or the stage of a relationship to outsiders.
That makes sense. And the translation thing is funny. The source mentioned examples.
Yeah, like in Spanish, people sometimes call their girlfriend gourd, which literally means fat.
What? Really?
Yeah, but it's used affectionately, not as an insult at all. Or in French, mapo, which means my flea.
My flea. Okay, that's weird. Right. So direct translation just completely fails.
Yeah.
It really highlights the deep cultural and emotional context embedded in these terms. They mean something within the relationship, not literally.
So, okay, taking all this in, what does it all mean? We've journeyed through this really intricate landscape of conversational English,
You really have.
starting with deciphering that subtle yet crucial difference between to love and to be in love with someone.
Yeah, where one is that general affection and the other is that deep, exclusive romantic bond. Super important distinction.
Definitely. And then recognizing the potent signal of, can we talk? How it almost always precedes a serious or difficult conversation, not just a casual chat.
Right, that immediate tonal shift it creates.
We also unpacked,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, discovering how its meaning can pivot entirely, from genuinely checking understanding
Like with the professor example.
to basically stating something you assume is obvious, like not liking someone's mom's house, all based on that shift in vocal tone.
That intonation piece is huge. And then we explored those more versatile phrases like, where is this noun going?
Yeah, applying it way beyond relationships to careers, movie plots, even those endless meetings.
Exactly,
Right.
showing its flexibility. And we also looked at the adaptable structure. Maybe it's just time-we verb.
Right, how it can propose anything from something huge like a breakup or having a baby.
To simply suggesting going home or, maybe cleaning a dirty room.
Ah, yeah. And we learned how we've had our laughs can transform into things like we've had our ups and downs, or we've had our moments, or we've had our issues.
Reflecting all sorts of different shared experiences, good or bad.
And finally, we explored that affectionate world of pet names. Baby, honey, sweetheart, darling, sweetie, cutie.
And even the really cheesy ones like Snook or Honey Bunny. And the key takeaway there,
Was how universal they are in function, establishing intimacy.
yet how utterly nonsensical they often become when you try to translate them literally, like the Spanish gourd or the French mapo.
This deep dive, it really underscores how much nuance and cultural context are packed into the language we use every single day, especially in those emotional, high-stakes conversations.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
So for you, our learner, thinking about all this, considering how much unspoken meaning is conveyed through these seemingly simple phrases, what everyday expressions in your own language might carry similar hidden depths?
That's a great question.
And how might that impact your understanding when you're communicating across different linguistic backgrounds? Maybe it's time to notice the unwritten rules in your own conversations.